Hello, friends. I am Jonathan Pishner with Apex Counseling, and today I wanted to address a question that comes up a lot, which is how do I know if counseling is successful? How do I know if it's working? What are the hallmarks of good counseling? So I wanted to share with you my personal take on it and the usual view that people who work at my practice have on what good, successful counseling is. And one of the first points about successful counseling is that in almost all cases, good counseling should be temporary. So, weekly therapy for years and years is not usually something we would view as the goal because whenever we're working in a counseling situation, we're working on an identified problem, whether that problem is trauma or depression or relationships. So there's an identified problem. If we're continuing counseling forever, that kind of means the identified problem is never getting solved. So good counseling, first and foremost, should be pretty temporary, even if it has to last for a long time, because sometimes we're dealing with pretty complex problems. The view should never be, okay, I need weekly therapy forever. That would not usually be the hallmark of good counseling. There's a few exceptions to that. Some people have certain disorders that you really do need weekly therapy forever, but the usual things people come in for are not the things that need permanent, forever type of counseling. The second good hallmark of successful counseling is growth. If I work with you for a year and you are the same person at that last session as you were at the first session, something went wrong. That's not the goal at all. Something should be growing. Either your ability to deal with your emotions, your ability to handle relationships, your view of yourself as a person. There should be some sort of natural evolution as a result of the counseling process. So if we're not in some way facilitating growth as part of this process, then something is wrong. Either we're not using the correct counseling approach. Sometimes it's because people aren't working on their counseling homework enough, but something is going wrong in the process if growth is not occurring. And really, to our view, growth should begin pretty immediately after we begin the counseling process. Like, it shouldn't take you 6, 9, 12 months to start noticing a change. One of the things I usually tell people is if you are not either experiencing some sort of benefit by the end of the second session, or you're not very, very clear on how you're going to experience your benefit by the end of the second session, then you're probably with the wrong person. And even if that person's me, like there's been a few people who have come in, either the problem is just not really in my wheelhouse, or maybe the personality fit is bad. But it's important to get with a counselor who's going to fit with you. So if you're not getting pretty immediate benefit and growth, or you're not clear on how you're going to be getting that, then you could be with the wrong person, because growth should begin almost as soon as the counseling process begins. Otherwise, there's a good chance it's not going to be successful because something is off in the process. And the third aspect that to my mind really characterizes successful counseling is this is not a thing that we want people to become dependent on. We view this as kind of a mentorship situation, not a situation where we want people to depend on us forever. I don't want to be the hero of your story. I want to assist you in becoming the hero of your story. So the mentorship situation should occur temporarily. I mean, this is every mentor figure in every movie. This is Obi-Wan in Star Wars. This is Dumbledore in Harry Potter. Pick your story. You know the mentor figure because they hang around, they teach the person some things, and then eventually they disappear. And at most, they pop back in every once in a while, say a useful thing or two, and then they disappear again. That's what counseling should be like. So really, in a lot of ways, my idea of successful counseling is when somebody is getting close to firing me, that means that we've done what we needed to do, because they're moving to a place where they're almost ready to say, hey, I no longer need you. You did what you were supposed to do. this process is no longer assisting me in growing. I've helped them get where they needed to be the hero of their own story. So, and every once in a while, we do have people who like to treat this like a dentist checkup. Like, instead of firing us completely, they'll pop back in once every 6 months and just kind of get a checkup. Say, hey, here's what I dealt with. Here is how I handled it. What do you think? And 9 times in 10, we're like, oh yeah, man, all that sounds good. But it gives us the opportunity to say, hey, here's a spot where I noticed you could have done this quicker, more efficiently, more effectively. Let's walk through how you could have done that, because that assists in whatever problem originally brought them here not coming back. Because if you have anxiety for 15 years and we work for 15 months and you get rid of it, your brain's still used to having anxiety. Its inertia will sometimes want to take it back there. So having a checkup can be useful, but we're definitely trying to move away from dependence and not have you do weekly sessions, forever. That's not successful counseling. So to answer the question is, if you want to know if counseling is successful, first off, are both you and your counselor viewing it as temporary? Is there growth? And is it a situation where dependence is not encouraged? We want to have you become the hero of your own story so that you're living a beautiful life, not we're living a beautiful life for you and always, telling you every step to make. We want to help you make your own steps. So hopefully that information is useful for somebody out there. As always, if you need any assistance, we are perfectly happy to help. Feel free to share this if you think somebody could benefit from it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a few minutes. I'm Jonathan Pishon with Apex Counseling, and we'll see you guys next time.